Hello, respected viewers, audiences, educators, subscribers. On behalf of NSRIC and its subsidiary, this is Dr. Enamul Hussain. I welcome you from Toronto and I give you salam. Salamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. After a long time, we are on live related to the permanent resident status in Canada. Today, we will be discussing about the permanent residence. So, I will be starting my conversation by giving you the definition of permanent residence, the benefit of permanent residence, and how we can become a permanent resident in Canada. That's what I will be presenting today. So again, I welcome you to the webinar series today. After a long time, we are here today. So the permanent resident is someone who has been granted permanent resident status by the immigrating to Canada. A permanent resident enjoy many of the same benefit like the citizen of the Canada. However, the citizenship is not duly maintained except the expiry of the passport. On the other hand, if you become a permanent resident, periodically you need to maintain the permanent residency with some specific requirement set by the Immigration and Citizenship Canada. So to become a permanent resident, you have to apply in different pool, in different status. So there are many ways to become a permanent resident in Canada. I will be discussing one after another after giving you the benefit of permanent residence. So the permanent residence open the door to multitude of advantages essential for those seeking a new chapter in your life, let's say. And then it grants the freedom, which is very important, to live, work across Canada. And being a permanent resident, your children will enjoy the free education in school level and in subsidized tuition fee for the university education. So it is almost, let's say, 1/3 of the tuition fee which international students pay for the university programs. And then if you wanted to work anywhere in Canada, you are eligible to work. If you wanted to travel freely to Canada, you are eligible to do so. And there are many more opportunities and facilities you have. For example, you have healthcare, which is the main dream facility for many of us who are living in this nice world. So Canada has 100% free healthcare facilities that you are eligible, and you will get the social insurance number immediately. There is no need for work permit. By default, you will get the work permit, and you can bring your family, you can bring your loved one, you can give invitation letter to friends, family members, and so on. So the difference between becoming a citizen and a permanent status in Canada, only the voting power. If you are permanent resident, you will have the opportunity to become citizen in, let's say, 5 years time if you fulfill the requirement of the permanent residency obligation. So once you become a citizen, you will become a full-time citizen and you have the voting power to select the leaders, and you can involve yourself in the political agenda, political move, and so on. So if you wanted to come to Canada and become a permanent resident, you can be coming in different way. Let's say if you wanted to apply as an immigrant, become an economic immigrant, business immigrant, sponsorship, refugee and humanitarian program. As a student, you can come and start working 20 hours per week, and down the time you can apply for the permanent residency. There are also other opportunity that ANSTIC Immigration and Visa Consulting offer. So to become a permanent resident, the major visa or the major track through which you can apply is, one of them is, let's say, business investor visa, then express entry visa, then provincial nominee program, then spousal and family sponsor visa, startup business visa, study permit, and then work permit. So for, let's say, in business investor visa, there are several options based on the how much money you wanted to invest. This is very clearly written in our website, ANSTIC Immigration and Visa website, which is ansticvisa.ca. You can go and visit there, and then you can also go and apply with the express entry visa, which is three category. One is called Canadian Experience Class Visa, Federal Skilled Trade Visa, and then Federal Skilled Workers Visa. So under this subcategory, you can also apply for permanent residence under the express entry visa application. Then you have provincial nominee program. Provincial nominee program is designated and designed by the individual province that Canada has. For example, Canada has 10 provinces and 3 territories. So these 13 administrative and legislative, geographical territories and provinces has their own legislation and policy for migration to the people. So under this program, you can apply for permanent residency status in Canada. Under provincial nominee program, you have express entry, which is called PNP. Another one is non-express entry and PNP. Then you have spousal and family visa. You can invite people that are blood related. For example, some of your relatives, brother, sister, or parents, spouse, relatives, they are living in Canada, so they can invite you to become the permanent resident. And this visa is called spousal and family visa. And this is under sponsorship, meaning someone is sponsoring you to become the permanent resident in Canada. So this is how you as an individual can apply for the permanent residency in Canada. Then startup business. For startup business, this is an individual who can apply for permanent residency under the startup business visa. And here for the investment, there is no limit for the investment. Any amount of money that fit and suit for you in a designated territory or province, you can apply for the permanent residency. And there are obligations, definitely there are pros and cons for every visa type. If you are interested, you can meet us, you can have a conversation with us, or you can visit our website. Everything is nicely presented in our website to understand the category and the requirement of different type of visa, which ultimately lead to become a permanent resident in Canada. And then study permit. The study permit is one of the most popular visa processing for the international student who are willing to study in Canada. Once you get the study permit and you are authorized to work 20 hours per week in addition to your status as a student in Canada. So once your student visa is complete, that means you are awarding or you are awarded the degree, then you apply for the work visa, and once your obligation is done, then you can apply for permanent residency in Canada. So the international students who are coming to Canada under the study permit, after completion of their study, they can apply for residency permit. So this is one of the most popular stream through which people are becoming the permanent resident in Canada. And under the study permit, there are 5 types of study permit you can think of. If your children are in school level, meaning grade 3 to grade 11, normally they come to Canada under under minor visa. It calls minor visa or schooling visa. Then self-funded university and college visa, which is study permit. Student with scholarship, normally this is very competitive. For undergraduate level of study, there are very limited scholarship that are available for the international students. Outstanding student normally are being offered, right, the scholarship, but in general for undergraduate level study there are no scholarship. Scholarships are offered majority of the cases for graduate study level. So someone is coming for masters and PhD study, so they can be given the scholarship. And then the vocational training and diploma. For example, recently Canadian government announced that the caregiver program is free for the Canadian permanent resident people. So if you become a permanent resident in Canada, you as an individual or your descendant, your dependent, your children will take these advantages that are available in education, in healthcare, as I mentioned before. So there are lots of opportunities and there are lots of advantages to become the permanent resident in Canada. And then work permit under skilled and semi-skilled based work visa. Here we have, and then LMIA work permit visa and LMIA exempted work permit visa. Under this category, you can become also the permanent resident in Canada. So this is how you become the permanent resident in Canada. Now, recently, actually just day before yesterday, there was a system in Canada. If someone come as a visitor, under visitor visa, if they are willing to transfer this visiting visa to a work permit visa, provided if they can manage a visa, work permit visa, then it was easy for them to transfer the visit visa to work visa. Now, starting from day before yesterday, there is no hope. If you are visiting Canada under multiple entry visit visa or single entry visit visa, you are not allowed to do this. Meaning, if you are visitor here, you go back to country and change your status, apply newly for the work permit visa. So you need to go out and then reapply and then you come back. That facility is stopped. So this is what, in short, we are trying to give you an idea about the permanent residency in Canada. We are always here to support you. We are always here to help you, and it is 100% authentic. We are Canadian Immigration and Visa Consulting Organization. We have office in different countries like Bangladesh, Pakistan. Recently, we opened an office in Oman. So this is how we are trying to speed up our process and give our authentic service to the community people who are looking for this service and wanted to migrate to Canada, the dream country for many of us. Globally, Canada is the only country where majority of the people dreams to become a permanent resident in Canada because of the benefit and the living standard, as you are aware of. So with this, I wanted to conclude here our conversation and delivery about the permanent residency in Canada. we will open up the question for our honorable and respected audiences, our well-wishers, our sponsors, our subscribers. So thank you very much, whoever is watching and whoever is subscribing our channel and watching this webinar series, joining this webinar series. I welcome you, and on behalf of NSTIC and its subsidiary, I thank you very much for your patience hearing. With this, I wanted to conclude this session. Thank you very much for being with us, and floor is open for questions. I will be trying to answer your any questions related to the migration to Canada, specifically as long as today's webinar is dedicated to permanent residency. So I would appreciate our audiences who are here today to ask question related to permanent residency so that we can save our time. Thank you very much.